Hello and welcome to today's webinar From Chaos to Control, Implementing SOLIDWORKS PDM with MLC CAD Systems. My name is Roland and I'm one of the Technical Solutions Managers here at MLC. Over the many years that I've been here, I've really helped customers focus on streamlining their engineering workflows and unlocking their full potential of their SOLIDWORKS investment through tools like PDM and the other data management solutions. So let's dig right into it. When managing organizations, specifically technical organizations, there's many challenges that comes with creating massive amounts of data. So what happens when we're not using a PDM tool? File duplication and overwriting changes is always one of the big key contributor factors when somebody starts looking at PDM. Managing revisions and ensuring that we're not losing any history or overwriting history by others when collaborating is a challenge that always comes up the second you have more than one user. Controlling who has access to the data. Here at MLC CAD Systems, we like to say making sure the right people have the right data at the right time is always something that is on the forefront of our mind. Being able to have traceability and have actually granular workflows that ensure drawings, parts, and assemblies are getting reviewed by the key players in the project when that time is appropriate. And last but certainly not least, wasting time finding files, verifying that they're truly the latest, greatest revision, and that there's not embedded in some folder structure that we don't have access to. These are just some of the main contributing frustrations that we see when people are not using a data management system. Data chaos becomes a bottleneck, and this is truly where SOLIDWORKS PDM can help you be more efficient. Now, some of you guys might have already made the decision of, hey, we're ready to use PDM. But for those of you on the call, what is PDM? Well, let's take a quick look at what PDM is and how it can help you. PDM is a Windows Explorer add-in, what we like to refer to as a vaulting tool. I like to tell customers that PDM is like a virtual checkbook for all your technical data. Now, one of the key benefits to PDM is the fact that it is built on Windows Explorer and it leverages what we call a SQL database, and it's going to provide three key functionality that anybody on the technical team is going to find valuable. The first is PDM is aware of what we call file references. Now we can see this directly in Windows Explorer. If I were to click on this assembly right here and then go to this Contains tab, you'll see that PDM understands that this assembly is referenced to these 5 parts. Furthermore, I could dig down to this even more granularly by looking at a piece part and leverage what we call the Where Used tab. Now, why is this important for you? When not using a PDM tool and using things like a map drive or SharePoint, Dropbox, OneDrive, all of those tools are good tools in their own right, but they don't actually provide you any functionality that controls these references. What that means is when an end user goes to rename a part or issue a new part number or clean up some folder structure, it would be on them to manually update these references. And PDM does this automatically. On top of managing references, PDM provides the ability to more granularly control all of your key information, what we like to refer as metadata. At this point, what you're seeing is my data card, which gives me access to my part numbering scheme, my description, who created it, who approved it, if I was looking at a drawing, when it was last checked or when it was last approved, or what even the current revision is. And the last kind of key thing, 5,000-foot level view, is PDM gives you the ability to truly control the status of a file, what we call the state. In this case, you can see all these files are released, which lets everybody in my organization know that these files are ready for either purchase or production. Now, since PDM is built on the Windows Explorer interface, it becomes way more easier to, 1, implement, and 2, to learn. And that's really what we want to talk about today. now that we know the challenges of not using PDM, we can kind of have a quick overview of what PDM can do. Well, the next steps is, well, how do we implement that? And that's what I really want to dig in today. MLC uses a 5-step process to effectively help our customers implement, use, and find success with their data management tool. The first step in that is what we call discovery or scoping. What we do in this step is we like to review with our clients and our customers their current file structure and their workflows. Essentially, what are you doing today? This helps us identify the key users, the roles, the groups, and what your security needs are in the new system. Furthermore, once we understand what you're currently doing and what you would like to be doing, this helps us define a clear data migration strategy moving forward. In a nutshell, this phase of discovery and scoping is all about you and understanding your environment. What we like to say is we don't like to apply a cookie cutter setup when cookies really aren't what we need. Now, once we've outlined that through our discovery and through our roadmap or scope of work, that generally leads us into the second step. And this is where kind of the rubber meets the road. And this is what we call server and database setup. During this phase of a project, this is when we actually install all of the Vault server configuration, mainly what we call the SQL service and your PDM archive and database service on your hardware. We generally know what the setup is going to be during that discovery phase. Along with the server and database setup, what we'd like to do is we handle all the installation of your client and server software, whether it's on a dedicated or shared environment. This ensures that we are set up so we can integrate with your existing infrastructure. Our team likes to ensure a Vault is built on a solid foundation and ensuring that it's optimized for security, speed, and scalability. So what does that really mean? Like physically, what happens in this phase? SOLIDWORKS PDM leverages SQL, either SQL Express or SQL Standard, depending on what version of PDM that you're taking advantage of. There's 4 key components that have to be installed on a central repository, what we call a server. One of those is SQL. The second is what we call our PDM database and archive service. And then the third is actually what we call the Network Licensing Manager, which is how PDM controls access through licenses. These 4 pieces of software get installed on a server. And this server could be either in-house, like a server closet in your current building, or it could be in a hosted center, like MLC's dedicated hosted data center. From there, we look at the clients. And this is where we install what we call the SOLIDWORKS PDM client add-in. This gives user access to the server, whether they are working in an office building or maybe even working remotely. Once all of these services are installed on both the server and the client machine, this is where the PDM system kicks in. At which point, this is how the server manages access to the data, controls your references, tracks history, and it provides a single source of truth for all the key players in the project. Which leads us into the third phase of a true successful implementation, is what we call Vault configuration. Once we have everything set up, we already have a clear idea of what a customer or client is needing to achieve. This is finally where we start kind of putting things in motion. During the Vault configuration, this is generally where we're creating folders and workflows, data cards, and templates inside the PDM administration tool. We're configuring your revision scheme and your lifecycle statuses to match up with the way that you're currently working. And we're creating all the customizations, things like your menus, your templates, your notifications. These are what I like to think of as little cherries on top. So how do we do that? And where do we do that? During this setup of the server, what we do is we actually start with a baseline Vault configuration. This is called the SOLIDWORKS PDM Administration Console. In this, administration console, MLC works with you, our customer, our clients, and this is where we start training you on how to actually use the administration tool. In this case, what you're looking at is you're actually looking here at my personal vault. These are the workflows of how I control my CAD data, how I control my engineering change requests process, my change order process, and even things down to my additive manufacturing files that I'm going to use for my 3D printing. Along with that, the way that we control access in SOLIDWORKS PDM is we use a very similar methodology of assigning users and groups. Depending on who the users are and the type of access we want, this is where we can go ahead and control who's getting access to what and at what times in the process. Again, this is where we tailor the system to match your process, not force your team to change overnight. Now that we have your system set up, we had a clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve. The software is running both on the server and the client, and we have an initial configuration. This is where we move into testing and validation, where we start performing things like sample file migrations, running through our validation checklist, and ensuring that all the backup and rollback procedures have been fully implemented. This is key that into your go live, because this is what's going to ensure that our permissions and our setup are truly functioning the way that you desire. Before we go live, we validate data integrity, workflows, permissions, and revision histories, and everything involved in the system. Now, my favorite part of any implementation is the final step of what we call training and go live preparation. So there's two key things that need to happen in any type of implementation, whether it's a quick start or a 6-month implementation. And these two key things are what we call administration training and end user training. So what happens during these phases? In the administration phase, this is where we focus on the SOLIDWORKS PDM admin tool. And sometimes people get this confused with like IT administration. What PDM administration is that's generally being driven by somebody who's a liaison to the technical team who understands the processes and the flow of your technical data. That administration training is what empowers you as you move forward. Your end user training is generally the training for the masses. So there's kind of 3 types of end users that we generally run across. What we call a CAD editor, a contributor, or a viewer. So let's dig into that just real briefly. A CAD editor is generally somebody on the engineering team that is using a CAD tool like SolidWorks or DraftSide or electrical. This level of training is usually a little bit more in depth because those files generally are a little bit more complex than a normal, say, Word or Excel document. The second level of training of what we call a contributor, this is somebody that's using PDM, they're contributing data into the vault, but they're not contributing CAD data. For example, they could be putting things like a Word doc or Excel docs or other supplementary manufacturing data. And the last type of user that we generally are going to be training up is what we call a viewer. This might be somebody out on the shop floor or like a quality person who's going to be consuming the data. They're not adding or subtracting data from the vault, and they're not changing any data. And so we call that a viewer. Along with that, during the implementation, we generally have what we call a go live support time. This is generally where we're starting to work with your power users now that it's all installed and configured, migrating data and showing them the ins and outs of actually how to use the system. And we always like to build a transition plan. Now, there's not a one-size-fits-all tool for every single scenario. And so in some scenarios, it might be a little bit more of a simple implementation versus somebody who's implementing 5 offices worldwide and they have 500 users. Tailoring the solution to the need is the most important part of this process. Our goal is to give you a confident, controlled, go live PDM implementation. So what are some lessons from the field? What are things that we've come across that we generally help customers kind of jumpstart their PDM implementation? I always like to operate on the KISS principle. Let's start simple and phase in complexity over time. Another good methodology is to train your power users early in the process, either via official training, maybe we phase out your implementation, or maybe sending them to an actual public training course, or leveraging something like an Ask the Expert session. In any good project, establishing ownership and who the admins are that are going to be championing any task is always crucial. This helps us, MLC, help you, our customers, know who to be engaging with at what points in time. PDM is very visual, and keeping workflows visual makes it easier to understand. So as we move forward and wrap up into our Q&A session, what are some of the things to go do at the end of today's webinar? Well, if you've already been engaging in PDM and you're just kind of on the fence of whether PDM is a good tool or not, I would encourage you to go check out the MLC YouTube, where you could see lots of our live demonstrations in different ways of how PDM has helped customers be more efficient. Ways that we can help you is if you're kind of still navigating the process of what PDM is, or is it worth the ROI to invest in the implementation? A really good starting point, which really costs you nothing, is engaging with your local account team, and we could very easily set up a discovery meeting. What we generally do during there is we really dig into what you're currently doing and what you would like to do in a perfect world. For some of you on today's call, you might be ready for a live demo where we actually demonstrate an example of SOLIDWORKS PDM. The way that I usually do that is I go through my personal vault and design something up and show you how that tool works. And for other of you, you might already be well down the road and you're getting closer to pulling the trigger, and maybe a roadmap or a success plan or a scope of work is the appropriate action. At any rate, MLC CAD Systems and myself are here to support you.